Hey everyone, welcome to episode 309, The Becky Brain. Welcome to the Harmony in the Home podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Hutchison. I'm a counselor, a life coach, and most importantly, an imperfect mom doing this work right along with you. And my goal on our podcast is to go from chaos to calm, feel less frazzled, and have more fun within your four walls to have more harmony in your home. You're probably like, what in the world? Before I get to the Becky Brain, I want to talk to you about letter writing, which I can't stop talking about because I love talking about it and I love sharing it with all of you. For the States and in Canada where you are eligible, so definitely tell me where you are living so I can tell you if your state is eligible, but most of them are. And sometimes that changes, so I can tell you which ones are eligible now, but I don't want you to think that this is forever and ever. So definitely before you sign up, let me know what state you're living in because I would hate for you to sign up and then your state not be eligible. Right now, all the United States is eligible except for Connecticut, Delaware, Idaho, Michigan, Montana, Nevada, and Washington. For the main ones. There are other ones that if you're living in those states that there are different companies that you can write to, but just let me know what state you're in. If you're in one of those states, then let me know and I can find a company that you can write to that are not in that state. Because I've been obsessed with this, I can also tell you which companies will send you drops faster because when I started, I had to wait a long time for my first drop and that was very hard to stay motivated and just waiting. And I just had to tell myself, guinea pig, guinea pig, guinea pig. But since I have started, they have added a lot more companies to the training and I have tested a lot of them. And I can tell you firsthand how long it takes them to give you a drop and how much the drop will be, et cetera, because I've been obsessed with this. So if you're interested, send me an email at coachingkelly@aol.com or on Facebook or Instagram. And this is for entertainment purposes only. This is side gig money. This is not quit your job, give up your life for this. This is something to do on the side as for fun to help with your bills. For us, it helps with travel sports. Because not only travel sports is expensive just to be on the team, but then you have to actually travel and flights and hotels and all the food once you're out there and then team bonding and then team activities and then we're going to go mini golfing and it just adds up. It's like so much money, but it's so worth it. But this has really helped kind of offset that burn, so to speak, of travel sports, having both in travel sports. And I know some of you have multiple kids in multiple sports. So it's very fun. It's a great escape for me. It's not for everybody, but if it sounds like something for you, then send me an email or a smoke signal and I will hook you up, Buttercup, with the training, which is very detailed. I don't do the training, but it's two sisters that did the training and they did such a good job with the training. It's so detailed. It tells you exactly what to write, who to write to, how much the drops will be. And they also, what I love is they have a template approval team where if you write out your template and you want them to approve it, then they will approve it and be like, hey, you messed up this part. If you're interested, send me an email. And now on to the Becky Brain. So I got this from my friend Laura Higgs, who's always sending me such good stuff. And this is really good to create consciousness in whatever area that you're looking to create consciousness with. Most people want to create consciousness with their parenting. Sometimes parenting feels too big and too audacious to start with. So I say start with something smaller, like cleaning your house, like creating a fitness routine, like going for walks every day, running, lifting weights, eating healthier, something like that. Start with something smaller, keeping your closet organized, emptying the dishwasher every day, keeping up with laundry. Whatever it is, start with something small and it gives you momentum to go into other areas. So this is the Becky Brain and I love this analogy because you know I'm an analogy and I'm always a life hack analogy person. So this is really good for talking to your brain and not getting mad at your brain. Because when you realize your brain is not on your side and the ego is always going to come, then you're like, oh man, I got to really attack this. But you're like, you know what? I'm not going to get mad about it. I'm like, oh, this is part of the human experience. And I hope that this episode, and not only this episode, but this entire podcast has helped normalize for you how much the monkey mind and the ego can get in the way of pretty much accomplishing whatever we want to accomplish. You're going to love this. This is from, now they're using big words, which kind of scare me. So this is from Mo Gaudat, Gawdat on Facebook. And the topic is the power of neuroplasticity. Your brain is constantly rewiring itself and you are shaping it for happiness or unhappiness. That's what the caption says. And it's so true, but when you throw out words like neuroplasticity to people, they start to check out oh, this is too big for me. But just listen to what he has to say, and then we're going to I don't want to say dumb it down, but just kind of bring it down to a third grade level. That always helps for me. He says in the caption, neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change, offers incredible potential to reshape your thinking, break negative patterns, and cultivate joy. This is what he's pretty much saying is what we talk about on the podcast all the time is creating consciousness. You're creating attention around this area. So whenever you're working with kids, you always want to create attention like, okay, we're in reading now. I'm going to help you create attention around this area. Because consciousness sounds so big and audacious, but if we just look at it as like, I'm just create more attention around this area, then it's not so big. He says positive practices like gratitude train the brain to focus on joy and abundance. Negative habits like consuming distressing news strengthen neural pathways for fear and despair. We know that so much. So I always say on the podcast, we have to control our mind so our mind doesn't control us. Modern society often trains the brain to focus on negativity. Scientists suggest it takes 21 days to begin forming new neural pathways to feel a difference. I feel like it takes more than 21 days. I feel like it takes 21 years because it's always a journey, not a destination. Because a lot of times with these 21 days, they're like 21 days. What it does is after the 21 days, you're creating a habit. So I don't want you to think after 21 days, I have arrived, I have momentum, and now I've finished this goal, so to speak. It's like, no, I'm always adding to it kind of thing. So I think you're really going to like this from Mo. He talks a little bit higher level than I do, which I think I need to do more of the podcast. So that's why I bring on guest speakers like Mo. So he does it for me.
I call my brain Becky because it's a third party. It's not me. You have to understand this. One of the biggest challenges in the modern world is that we think that the voice in your head talking to you is you. It's not. If it was you talking to you, why would it need to talk? There was a study actually in MIT in 2007. They put people in MRI machines, they give them word puzzles, and they measure the activity in their brain. And the problem-solving areas of the brain would light up as long as it is needed to solve the problem. And then when the answer is found, listen to this. The verbal association area of the brain, the same area I'm using to talk to you right now, starts to light up for up to 8 seconds. And then the participant would know the answer. Your brain finds the answer and then it's freaking talking to you. It turns the answer into words so that you understand it. Your brain is a biological function. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I go to the bathroom, therefore I am. It's another biological function, but for some reason we say, I think, therefore I am. That brain, I have a deal with it. Becky signed an agreement. And the agreement is this. There are only 2 types of thoughts allowed in my brain. My brain is allowed a useful thought if it's going to hurt me or a joyful thought. One of the struggles of losing a child is that your ego as a father attacks you very heavily because your ego is to protect him. So my ego started to attack me severely, like viciously, telling me you should have driven him to another hospital. So the 4 hours after Ali left, the only thought in my head was you should have driven him to another hospital. Constantly, until I told my brain openly, I heard you. I can't go back in time and drive him to another hospital. Can you give me something I can do? A useful thought. A useful thought. Until Aya came and said, hey, he had that dream. And then I had the idea of writing his model and so on and so forth. So that's a useful thought. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to write what he taught me. I'm going to share it with the world. It's a useful thought. The other part of the agreement, so I said 2 thoughts. One is useful and the other is a joyful thought. No lying. Look at me, beard, bald, manly, right? I cry once or twice a week. There is a specific pain right here, bottom right side of my heart, that I always feel when I miss him. Every time I feel that pain, my brain is telling me Ali died. Very painful thought. When I think Ali died, I think of what happened. I think how unfair. I think of the last moment where I hugged him in the intensive care table and so on. And I learned very quickly to say, yeah, brain, you told me that around 16,700 times before, but Ali also lived. By the way, we didn't plan for Ali. I was given 21 and a half years of absolute bliss, a blessing that I didn't ask for. As a matter of fact, if I had been asked, I would have told my wife, let's delay a little bit. Then shows up this beautiful angel in my life for 21 and a half years that makes me the person that I am. And my brain chooses to say Ali died. No brain. Ali absolutely lived. We played video games together. We laughed together. We hugged. He taught me things. We had an amazing, amazing journey. And that's what I choose to remember. A joyful thought. If it's not going to be useful, don't hurt me. That's the agreement with Becky. And believe it or not, every single one of us has that choice. Every single one of us is able to stand firm with your Becky and say, that's it. That's it. Don't destroy my life. This is stupid. Don't waste my life. Either give me something I can do or give me something I can think about with joy.
How amazing was that? And I don't know his story or his history about losing a son, but oh my gosh, how both can exist at the same time is what I want you to take away the most. And he has an accent, but he starts off by saying he has a Becky brain, and his Becky brain is pretty much his ego, his fear, his monkey mind, whatever you want to call it. I want you to attach to it and create a name, because when you can name it, you can claim it and be like, okay, for some reason, I always call my monkey mind Mildred. And I think it's because of the alliteration, monkey mind, Mildred. And so I'm always talking to Mildred like, I hear you, Mildred. Or sometimes it comes up as Ethel. I don't know why. And no offense to people that are named Becky, Mildred, or Ethel. But just whatever that name is, put it in your mind and talk to that part of your brain. And talk to it often, because your monkey mind will show up every single day. It's kind of like junk mail. I have unsubscribed so many times to junk mail in my email. But guess what? It shows up every single day. I have unsubscribed and unsubscribed till I'm blue in the face. And no matter what, it shows up. And then when I'm not on top of my email, so to speak, or if I'm traveling, then I get back and I'm like, oh my gosh, this junk mail is insane. And it's because it's the same analogy of us not managing our mind. You're not going to be able to manage your mind 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So don't put that pressure on yourself to do that. But it's like managing your junk mail that you come from your email. You want to manage it most of the time, and then you'll have other times where you're not able to manage it. And it kind of goes off the grid. You're like, whoa, I need to reel this back in. Whoa, I need to unsubscribe a little bit more. All that is you just lost consciousness for a little bit. Not that you're unconscious, like you fainted, but you just aren't giving the attention that it needs. You just need to create more consciousness around that area, so to speak. Because the Becky mind, the Becky brain, the Mildred monkey mind, the Ethel will show up every single day, welcome or not. So you just have to manage your mind so your mind doesn't manage you. It will be riddled with fear and anxiety because it's always trying to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and be efficient. It's always trying to protect you. So we're not mad at Becky. We're not mad at Mildred. We're not mad at Ethel. We just acknowledge him or her, and we welcome them in, and we have conversations with them. Like, it's kind of like a toddler who's scared to go on a ride. I know you're scared to go on this roller coaster. I think you're really going to love it. But it's okay if you don't love it. It's okay if you don't do it. You still have free will. And so we become friends with Becky. We become friends with Mildred. We become friends with Ethel. We realize they're not the enemy. They're just doing their job to try to protect us. And then we can invite them in and be like, I wonder what's going on with all this fear and anxiety. I wonder where that's coming from. Could this be something that I'm having PTSD from? Now, I don't actually mean the PTSD that people from war have, but something that's triggering an old pain, an old trauma, an old history, an old fear, so to speak. And they're like, oh, I know where that's coming from. And that's valid that it's coming from that area, but we're going to recreate this now. We're going to do this in a different way. I know mom or dad yelled at you a lot. I know you didn't like it, but we're not going to yell at our kids now. We're going to do this different. I know Becky. I know Mildred. I know Ethel. You're doing it from a place of pattern and a place of trying to yell back at your parents because you couldn't yell back when you were younger. But we're not going to do that to our kids now. We're going to do this differently. Do you see how much more empowering that is? Versus my 3-year-old had a tantrum, so I had a tantrum right with them. There's no power in that. There's power in creating a learning lab and creating an environment that feels good for you and for him or her to live in, or them to live in, if you have multiple kids. And then the beauty of that is that you know they're going to go recreate that when they're older in their own tree. And then the apples will fall from their tree, and that's all they'll know. So that's all they'll know to create. And that's all they'll be known to they'll be drawn to. And that's when parenting becomes a lot more fun, when we're focused only on our side of the street and not so focused on their side of the street. And then we can show up with love and kindness and grit and happiness and all of that good stuff that we want them to absorb from us, so then they can go create in their own adult life. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye. Hey mamas, thanks for listening. If you had any ahas, clicks, or those lightning bolt moments while listening, you have to check out my free parenting bootcamp, where we take all of this to the next level and we try to create even more awakenings for ourselves so that we can connect more with our kids and never yell at them again. You can sign up at www.coachingkelly.com. And if you really want to fill up my love cup, send me an email of what your aha was, what your click was, what was that lightning bolt moment while you were listening. I want nothing more in life than for you to have harmony in your home and to learn how to be an imperfect mom like me, which allows your kids to be imperfect too, each and every day. Thanks for listening.